Now, on a recent walk in the wilds, I came across this large arcing line of mushrooms growing in a birch wood. And I wonder if it could be part of what's called a fairy circle. So I had to have a look. And I found so much folklore and history about fairy circles. And interestingly, I found a theory on geopathic stress, or the suffering of the earth. That's what started it to do a video. Now, for millennia, the sudden appearance of a ring of mushrooms, seemingly to appear overnight, or even moving from one location to another with no explanation, was a sure sign of supernatural presences. A warning of the dark forces at work were passed down through generations, and the folklore of fairy circles was created. Now, basically, fairy rings are circular patches of grass that are darker or damaged more than the surrounding area. And eventually, there was the emergence of the fruiting body of the fungus, the mushroom. And they can expand outwards at 6 to 12 inch a year, sometimes more depending on the conditions and the species of mushroom. Now, the well-known red and white Amanita muscaria is a common hallucinogenic mushroom, and it's commonly seen in images of fairies and fairy tales or postcards and that. When conditions are right, this fungus can form a fairy ring. If you came across one of these mystical mushroom portals of the supernatural, would you dare enter? The different regions around the world have their superstitions surrounding fairy rings, but generally the legend involves fairies or similar supernatural being either dancing around the ring or the ring being a portal between fairy realm and our world. Way back in time, it was once believed that the circles were formed by shooting stars or lightning strikes, or were the work of witches and sometimes called sorcerers' rings. And in the Victorian era, images of nude or semi-nude fairies dancing in rings became popular. In Scotland, it was believed the fairies sat on the mushrooms and used them as tables for their feast. And in Wales, it said the rings signify an underground fairy village. And Welsh folklore also considers the rings as locations of fertility and fortune. Many myths and legends warn you will die young if you dare to enter a ring, and you'll also become invisible to the mortal world, unable to escape the ring, or that you're transported instantly to the fairy realm, and you will be compelled to dance around the ring until you die of exhaustion or madness. And to avoid this terrible fate, you must take special measures, such as running around the ring 9 times. Only 9 times, 10's too many, and it will undo the strategy. Or weirdly, alternatively, you might also wear a hat backwards, because this is said to confuse the fairies. But in this modern world, we know they are a naturally occurring phenomenon. Causes fungi creates in a ring shape under the soil, and today the fungi that cause the natural occurrence is well understood. It's actually the mycelium, which is a spreading fungus which grows in fertile, damp environments. In good conditions, the spores will develop into mushrooms or the fruiting body. Now, underground, the mycelium networks reach out under the grass, moving outwards from the centre and feeding upon organic matter as it travels. And it's said that the dead mycelium forms a thick, water-repellent mat that starves the grass roots of nutrients and moisture, eventually damaging the grass above. But the leading edge of the ring remains lush and green usually. Now, this cycle can continue for centuries, and it can grow massive. And as the ring grows, shrinks and moves around the countryside, it delights some people and disturbs others. Now, they're usually found in grassland, but they can also be spotted in woodlands like the one I saw, living in symbiosis with the trees. Now, possibly the largest ring ever found is in France, and it's approximately 2,000 feet in diameter, and it could be 700 years old. And there can be more than one ring in an area, and they will overlap, creating strange winding patterns in the grass. And often the grass inside the ring is withered or a different colour than the outer grass. Now, most fungi seem to thrive under negative geopathic stress conditions. Are they healing it? Negative geopathic stress is a Greek word and it means suffering of the earth. And it describes negative energies which flow from the earth. These energies can cause discomfort and ill health, and some refer to them as black streams. The planet is said to be woven with a pattern of ethereal threads, and things like underground flowing water, mineral deposits, underground caverns, geological faults, man-made disturbance to the Earth's surface like quarries, mines and sewers and drains, and communication masts. These all can damage these ethereal threads. And it's thought that fairy rings only grow where the ethereal threads have become misdirected and interfered with in a major way. To try and explain that a bit more, say your house is built upon one of these damaged points. Negative energy will build up in your house, which can lead to illness and bad luck. So black streams could be the reason for them becoming the subject of so much folklore and myth worldwide. So if a geopathic stress line is altering the frequency your body is running on, it could be that it may well cause out-of-body experiences, visions, hallucinations, or other hidden phenomena. And the relationship between haunted houses and poltergeist phenomena and ley line crossings is well known. So it could be a similar thing altering the frequencies. And it's recommended that a diviner or earth healer with his divining rods can determine the problem areas and then neutralise them by earthing the spot, by puncturing it with steel bars in a similar manner used in acupuncture. And this bar breaks the flow and diverts the negative energy downwards, away from the house. Now, I don't know how true or if there's any proof of this theory or not, but I like the idea of it. And it does sort of make sense. Just to finish with, if you have a fairy ring on your lawn and you want rid of it, it can be tricky. So to stop the mycelium from spreading, the mushrooms should be picked as soon as they appear to stop them sporing. And you could try soaking it, so you might drown the mycelium. If this doesn't work, you'll need to dig down to beneath the white layer to remove the infected soil, and this can be several feet down. Then replacing it with fresh soil and relaying the grass. Now, this is a lot of work and it may interrupt the healing of the black streams. So it might even be easy to take your chances with the fairy folk. Let me know what you think in the comments.